Good morning, everyone. It's August 19th, 2018. I'm here at The Root. The Root. A list of ways to tell if a white person has personally benefited from America's history of racism. This comes from Damon Young. I'm not going to read the whole article, but we will jump down here to the list to see just how we've benefited from our white privilege or racism, however you want to look at it. Of course, I am being sarcastic. Number one, they were born at any time between 1650 and literally the second that just passed. They're breathing. Number two, they're breathing. So, if you were born and breathing, you have fucking benefited from racism in America. They're perhaps not breathing right now, but they lived long enough to draw at least one breath in America. So, all the aborted white babies, all the dead people, they too have benefited from racism in America. Number four, they have at one point in their lives said things like hi and excuse me and does this come in a medium? Number five, they were born after a person who has a sperm. See, this dude can't even write. He can't even make sentences properly. They were born after a person who has sperm that was generous enough to donate that sperm to a person who has eggs and shit. And this is what he wrote right here. Eggs and shit. And the person who has eggs and shit was like, oh, sperm, thank you. I just ran out of this. And then that sperm and those eggs and shit got together and made some quench. I mean, where's this dude get his writing skills? No wonder they don't do very well in school. Number six, they've already seen Succession. I never even heard of Succession. They haven't yet seen Succession, but they cleared some space next Thursday evening to binge. That's number seven. Number eight, they're not really that interested in seeing Succession, but they just want to be a part of the conversation about it. Number nine, they don't plan on seeing Succession. So if you plan on seeing Succession, if you've seen Succession, you benefit from racism in America. Number 10, they've never heard of Succession. In fact, if you bring up Succession to them, their response will be, Succession these, or success these nuts. No, we wouldn't, because we don't talk like that. Anyway, if you are a white person who has not experienced any of this, then perhaps you have not personally benefited from America's history of racism. I hope this helps. And I'm going to hit this comment here, because it's from an individual who's been brainwashed enough to believe this bullshit. Although the name does sound like it's a black person, Misha Bites, but they pretend to be white. When I was younger, I genuinely believed that I had never enjoyed any of the benefits of white privilege. I was poor, with no prospects, no hope of any far-off future inheritance, working demeaning jobs, living in crappy apartments, and so on. I would get fairly indignant at any suggestion that I was somehow a recipient of some undeserved head start in life. Then one day, I imagined what my life would be like if everything was exactly as it is now, except with just one detail changed. I'm black. Oh my God. There's another whole world of problems that I've never had to deal with, even once. And lots of people out there are poor and hope-deprived and beaten down just like me, and get this whole extra pile of shit to deal with every day. Those snooty bitches who look down their noses at me walking through their neighborhood. Ha! At least I didn't, or they didn't call the cops. And my not entirely intact apartment, well, if I were black, it would only be expected of me, rather than a temporary bad situation, right? I know it's really simplistic and not entirely helpful, but it's what I needed to realize at that point in time, and I'm glad it got me thinking about some things that I'd honestly never had to consider. Life in America is just plain harder for black people than it is for white people. It's indisputable. And I don't feel very privileged. I mean, if I get caught with weed, if I get caught selling weed, or somebody snitches on me, that's really not getting caught, but if somebody snitches on me selling weed, I face the court system just the same as any black man. I'm poor. I haven't always been poor, but I am right now. I don't see the benefit. I don't. I don't see the benefit of being white. It's mostly white people who go off to war to die. It's mostly white people who are discriminated against every single day. It's white people who can't utter a word of pride regarding their own culture, otherwise they'll be labeled as racist. So I don't see this white privilege or how I've benefited from America's history of racism. You know, racism wasn't even a thing until the communists came up with it. You know, the Jewish communists. So I thought I'd share this with you. I'm going to be busting the Roots balls from now on, just for fun. Hope everyone has a great day. Kill the state and live free.